My name is Hamza. I'm a YouTuber with 2 million subscribers, and Andrew Kirby's been helping me to monetize my channel. And this is how much I've made in 4 days. $116,000. Absolutely incredible.
Today, I talked to Andrew Kirby, who at only 23 years old has grown a YouTube channel to 600,000 subscribers, made his first million, retired from YouTube, and who's now spending all of his time helping other creators grow and monetize their channels. He's worked with some impressive clients like Mr. Beast, Alex Hormozi, and most recently Hamza, who he helped scale from making $20,000 a month to $200,000 a month. In this episode, we dive into Andrew's story and the mindset that's made him so successful at such a young age, but we also dive into the tactics he's using to help creators make more money, and specifically how he helped Hamza to go from $20,000 to $200,000 a month. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's dive into the Hamza stuff. So before we dive in, can you share a little more of the backstory of how you and Hamza connected? I know there's a funny story as well.
Yeah. Okay, so I had been creating content for a couple of years now. I had started this subreddit called Dopamine Detoxing when my dopamine detoxing videos went viral. And I saw this guy start spamming his videos in this subreddit, this smaller personal development YouTuber trying to grow his channel, which was interesting, but whatever. When I was growing, I would go on Reddit and try and get my videos to get more reach from there as well. I understood the game. But then he started promoting he made a free Skillshare course about dopamine detoxing, started promoting that. So he was directly monetizing the community, whatever, it is what it is. I just banned him. Then one day I go on my YouTube homepage and I see this video titled Andrew Kirby is lying to you. My face left side, Hamza's face right side. And I'm like, God, this was the first exposed video that I had ever seen made about me. And basically he was explaining the thing that he was exposing me about was that this video that I had was a normal video, but in reality it was a video sales letter. And he was basically saying to everyone, this is a video sales letter. This isn't a normal YouTube video. He's trying to sell you his course. Valid criticism, completely acceptable. Then that was it. Basically, the annoying thing was if you search Andrew Kirby on YouTube, his video ranked for SEO above all of my ones. So that was all that everyone saw about it. And that was fine. And then based on that, Hamza started blowing up. He started growing like crazy. He hit the personal development field like wildfire. I would check my analytics. There's a section that shows you the other videos that people in your audience watches. And it was literally just Hamza's second channel, Hamza's second channel. He blew up.
How many views did that video get?
He's unlisted it now, so we can't see, but I think it probably
got it.
100,000 views, something like that.
Wow. Okay. That's how you know you made it. It's like the Lai Lopez, when you get people when you get haters, that's how you know you've made it some sorts. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And when Hamza was blowing up, I was like, right, well, now's my time to make a video on him instead of me. Now he's 5 times bigger than me. So I basically made a video explaining that he had made this video, but whilst he was there calling me out for selling things, he was on my subreddit spamming his dopamine detoxing things, doing all sorts of other questionable, grayish line sort of tactics. So I made that video. That video still to this date has the highest click-through rate on my entire channel. That video I made, which was crazy. And that was the initial section of the drama that got us together.
Nice. And how do you guys reconnect?
I think after a while, it's I didn't have any bad blood towards him. He didn't have any bad blood. We were both just trying to get views. That was it. No hard feelings. So, and also we had both come from a very similar position where both of us were dopamine addicts, 8 hours a day gaming, porn, weed, all of those sorts of things. So seeing him blow up in a very similar niche to the way I blew up, it was we had mutual respect towards each other. And we I know how difficult it is. I know how much pain you have to go through in order to really make something like that happen. So I had respect towards him. So we just started reaching out, connecting over DMs in some way, chatting in maybe Instagram DMs or Twitter DMs, something like that.
And at what point did you...
Sorry to interrupt. I remember I went on Twitter and I posted, I was like, I'm doing a Q&A, and he commented and he said, how did the video that I made about you make you feel? And I basically
Ah,
responded with like a clap back. I was like, that video is just a status seeking male trying to grow their career by stepping on other people, which was pretty savage. But I did the same back. So.
that's funny. And so, at what point that I mean, you kind of build a friendship over DMs. At what point did you offer to help him with monetization, and what kind of triggered that thought? Had you helped? Were you already in this phase of like helping other creators monetize, or was he the first one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he basically messaged me with a screenshot of his earnings on Stripe, and he had earned $20,000. And he was saying, "Look at how much I've made at this point. It's been a few years. We had built a relationship, so it wasn't weird to do that." And I was basically sending him a Loom video back, and I said, "Incredible, congratulations, $20,000 is a ton of money, but given the size of your audience, you could be making so much more." And he basically said that his whole career, he had been under the assumption that making money was a bad thing, and that he was a leader of an audience, and for him to be selling would be him selling out. And he had all of these sort of negative beliefs around making money. But when I recorded the Loom video, I was like excited. I was like, you've got 2 million subscribers. You've got one of the most loyal audiences on YouTube. You could be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and explaining it to him in an excited way. So he said that was a belief shift in his mind, that making money wasn't bad. It was a good thing. And that he had the desire to make money, but he was just like squashing it down because he thought that it was negative and all of those things. So from there, he asked me a few questions. He said, if you were me, what would you launch? How would you monetize? How would you frame the offer? How would you position it? Explained it all. One of the big ones was pricing, explained how to price it all. And he launched it and 10x'd his income.
Can you do a before after? Like what was his I'd like to do also like a funnel breakdown of like, actually we could do it that way, like of like how things were before and then just like how things are now. And if you want to share a screen, just like walking through like what his offer looks like today, how it changed, and what creators or behind the scenes people watching can learn from this.
Yep. So before, he had 8 different courses that were all just mishmashed random things that he had put together. One about how to grow YouTube, one of them about how to get in better shape, all of these different offers, none of which were all incredibly compelling. First thing that I said to him was just simplicity. Get rid of all of them and just focus on one. Have one incredible offer that you think that your audience will love, because then you know what to promote. Then the audience is just thinking, do I buy? Yes, no, not what do I buy, and yes, no on each specific thing. So the first thing is just have one incredibly compelling offer. And for him, it was obvious he has such a strong audience, a community. He should just start a paid community. And he should bring together all those people under a paid thing with a specific transformation, which when he first started it was basically personal development. Being on personal development is lonely. Here's a community of guys to get together. But the more we started to learn about what his audience really wanted, we learned that the main thing they wanted wasn't just to make friends. It was to not have to follow the traditional 9 to 5 career, find a way to make an income online. So now the offering is more pivoted towards teaching what he has learned about audience building and business building and monetization and all of those things. So now the core offer is 500 upfront, $100 per month after. Learn how you can build a business online, learn how you can take your personal development career and monetize it, which is actually really interesting because it's the same model as synthesizing. If you think about synthesizing, this is why I love it. It's like personal development is you solving your own problems. Having a purpose in life is about solving the world's problems. And the way that you monetize is by helping other people solve their problems. So all 3 of these things, personal development, having purpose, and making money, all comes from solving problems. So a great way, and I think it's going to be huge in the future, where loads of people are going to be earning an income through solving their own problems and then sharing the solution. That's one of the few models in life where you can make money, improve yourself through personal development, and feel like you have a purpose, all in the same mechanism. So that's what his new offering is about.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Here, like Dan Co talks about this a lot, right? Of like solving your own problems, creating content around that, and then creating a business around that, right? Like the one person business model. I mean, obviously he's not the only one, but like how did that simple change like bring him from 20,000 to 200,000 a month?
I guess he just made something his audience wanted.
I guess it's like he he probably surveyed his audience a lot and like really got to the core of like what do they want and offered that, versus before it was a little more scattered. We had like a bunch of different products and it wasn't, the offer wasn't super dialed in. But so is that what you're saying? Like the basically you guys really narrowed in on what they really truly wanted, and that offer being like way more appealing, just like skyrocket the business.
It's definitely a part of it. It's difficult to answer because there were so many different things that we did. Another one
Yeah.
of them was we made the product good and we worked hard to make sure that it actually delivered people results. And that gave him the confidence necessary in order to promote it a lot harder than he was promoting his things before. Because before he was worried about the reputation and all of those things. But as soon as he was like, wow, this is great, people are loving it. Like he has a 1% refund rate. Every month he has 5% churn, meaning 95% of people keep paying month over month, which
Wow.
is so low. If there's this website called School Directory, and it basically has an algorithm between all of the different communities on school to show you how engaged they are, how good they are, all of those things. I'll share my screen.
Oh,
And
that's
his
cool.
is literally number one, like the best community
Oh
on
wow,
school. Yeah,
that's amazing, because that kind of, it's like introduces some competition between the different businesses itself. It's like gamifies it even further. That's cool.
exactly. Yeah. And School is working on some cool features. I'm actually working with Sam on School at the moment. And there's a couple of features that I think will be really cool. One of them is discovery, which is going to take that school directory, which is unofficial at the moment, and bring it into a more official page. So kind of like you go on Airbnb and you type in the location of where you want to go. It's going to be like that, but with school communities. And
That's
also
awesome.
it's coming out with a billing feature, meaning that now you'll be able to directly charge on School for your school community. So my community, instead of having to use Stripe and Thrivecart and Zapier to kind of link this all together, you'll be able to start a school community. You'll be able to monetize with literally just one button. And it's going to show you the churn that you have. It's going to help you keep users, all of those things.
Wow, very cool. You said you guys did a lot of stuff. What can you like? You guys had like a couple calls together. What are the other, like what did you work on together? Like did you help him like write the copy for the sales page? Did you, I mean obviously you probably helped him with like figuring out like the pricing, right? Some of the surveying of like figuring out like what the offer should be. Can you break down like all those different things? Just I think going into the details helps paint a picture for people that are building their own community of like, hey, here are the steps to really get practical about this, to like launch like a very successful and valuable. That's one thing I'm like taking from this is like you guys basically made the product amazing, which removed like any type of guilt you might have from like, oh, like over like selling to your audience, because like at that point you're adding value to your audience by selling to them, right? And so it's like that's when like that's the mindset shift you're talking about, that allowed him to go from like 20 to 200 and probably like way more in the next couple months and
Yeah.
years.
Yes. So probably the easiest way for me to share what I did is to walk through our creator monetization protocol. We basically
Awesome.
have this community for creators with 100,000 subscribers. And we have in the classroom a protocol that basically walks through what we do. So the first one was basically, this is all explaining who we are and what we do. First thing is to realize that if you're a creator with an audience, if you're taking sponsored videos, then say you get paid $10,000. In order for that company to pay you $10,000, they're going to be making a lot more than $10,000 from that sponsor. So as soon as you reach a certain size of audience, it makes sense for you to sell your own things so that you can capture the money that that company is creating or the company's making off of the sponsorship. Next step is to understand the audience. So it's best to get on calls with people. It's very difficult to understand your audience until you actually speak with them. From there, they'll tell you their desires, they'll tell you their problems so that you know what bridge to make. And the more aligned you can make the bridge towards their core desires, the more effective you will be able to monetize, and the happier they're going to be because you're actually solving their most painful problem.
So did you have his subscribers fill in a Google form for this, or what did that look like?
Yeah, the way we recommend, I guess I can show you this guy because this is the one we did most recently. Here we go. So Teaching Men's Fashion is another creator that we're helping. And basically we recommended he created this post with a form in it. And in the form, basically the core question is, what's the one transformation you want me to help you achieve? And then we said, are you open to hopping on a 15-minute call? And between a large amount of data that you get from this form, plus going and speaking with people, which is an essential part of the process, you get a really good understanding of the audience and their problems and desires.
Okay, cool. So step 2.
Yep. Step 2 is then basically clearly defining the outcome, the transfer, the time frame, and the methodology. So what are you going to help them achieve? How quickly can you help them do it? And how are you going to help them get there? Then these are all less interesting, but still kind of interesting. We have these worksheets that people can go through to basically outline all of these different things. Maybe I can share one of these. Do you think that would be valuable?
Yeah, definitely.
So here's one of the worksheets, which basically is how to summarize all of the other worksheets into one specific thing. And it's basically, who are you helping? What are you helping them do? How are you planning on helping them get there? What's the guarantee, etc. And from there, you have an offer. Next steps is to take that offer which is basically like the raw ingredients, and it's to package it up in a way that the audience can see. So the first step is to do a sales letter, which is basically you just outlining the thesis through which, if someone believes, it makes it a no-brainer to buy your product. You take the sales letter, you turn it into a sales video. You put the sales video on a school page where you can market it, and then you can sell from there. We recommend that you sell before you build, because if you sell before you build, number one, you make sure that you're making something that people want. And number two, you build the product with the first batch of users, meaning you can make the product better. And then we can set up the customer success team. Probably the easiest way for me to explain all of this is just like the bridge analogy. You need to get very clear on where your audience is. You need to get very clear on where your audience wants to get to. This is the first step, the market research stage. This is the second step, understanding the transformation, the promise that your offer is going to be making. Then you need to outline the steps of the bridge. And the way you do this is you think, for someone to get from where they are now to where they want to get to, what are all of the sub problems that they need to solve? What are all of the things they need to experience, the things they need to learn? And once you get that, you have an understanding of where they are, where they want to get to, and all the steps they need to go through. That's everything you need in order to create a really tangible offer. Say the promise is you're a beginner YouTuber, you have 0 subscribers. The promise is you want to get 100,000 subscribers. I know that they need to learn titles, they need to learn thumbnails, they need to learn script writing, they need to learn recording, they need to learn editing, and that's it. So once you have all of this, now you can go and you can write the sales letter. Because in the sales letter, the promise, the headline is how to reach 100,000 subscribers. Then the marketing thesis, or the sales letter thesis, the thing they need to believe in order to buy is, we're going to teach you thumbnails. So you take a problem, I don't know how to make thumbnails, you turn it into how to create thumbnails that people click. All of that can be used and turned into a sales letter, and you have an outline for what the actual course is going to look like. At that point, you can sell. And then once you've sold, you just need to go through and turn each of these different parts along the transformation into training material to help someone get a result. You combine it with a community, because otherwise you're just selling information. Information doesn't have a moat, it can be found online. Community is the thing that provides accountability. Community is the thing that provides results, with some sort of Q&A calls or group coaching method so that people can get direct results. Add all of those things together, and that's how you would monetize an audience.
Very cool. Yeah, that's how you go from 20 to 200 or from 0 to 20.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for breaking that down. What is next for you? I know you want to work with more creators, helping them monetize, right? Why? And why are you doing it for free?
A few reasons. One, the more case studies that I get, the more this will be able to be, there'll be no competition. I'll become the audience monetization guy. and later that can be turned into a business. 2, it's a ton of fun. I'm getting to connect with creators that I've always dreamed with connecting with. 3, I'm an investor in school, and I think school's the best platform for creators to monetize. So the more creators I bring onto school, the more money the bigger the evaluation that school gets, so the more that my cut will be made. 4, I'm viewing this career as a 70, 80-year play, and I think that creators are the future. So the more I can network with creators, the more I can become friends with creators, the more I can help creators, most importantly, the more valuable relationships that I build over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, however long those other creators are playing the game for. So all of those things come together, and it just means I'm happy to help creators monetize for free. I'm sure in the future there'll be a point where I'll monetize it in some way, but for now it's free.
Very cool. And so, yeah, so I mean, the game is to become the best consultant as far as creator monetization, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
So what are some fun creators you are potentially going to work with as far as monetization? Anyone that you're starting to work with or starting conversations with?
Yeah. Again, probably the easiest way is for me to just share the screen and go through the members in the creator monetization thing. For context, there was 1,000 people that have filled out a Google form for help with monetization. These are just some of the people that we're bringing on. Damien's really cool. He's one of the biggest personal finance creators in the UK. Afu's cool, more of an entertainment stuff. Brandon Dion's cool. This is Isla, the Notion guy. David Perel. Fidiax, spoke with him today, friends with Eric and Mr. Beast.
Very cool.
Alex
Everything.
Yeah, this guy's cool. What I've learned is a really cool channel about health and nutrition. Denmo, Jose, who's the 6 million guy, Chris Williamson, who you mentioned. By the way, I appreciate the connect.
Wow. So you've got a very solid list. Is what? Yeah, Zach, Mark, nice, Mark Manson.
Yeah, Improvement Pool, he's fun, and then Film Booth and Leon Hendricks were some of the beginners. Oh, this guy's really cool. So this guy has he only has 100,000 subscribers, but he is, I believe, one of the top 10 engineers at Amazon, meaning that he's incredibly senior at Amazon. Like, wild how many people would want to be in his position. And his audience is 100,000 members of all engineers. So he's about to launch a monetization offer that helps engineers get a promotion quicker, because he, having been working at Amazon for like 15 or 20 years now, he understands the career progression and what you need to do to get a promotion. And the promotions, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's something like you start off, you earn 100K. Then the first promotion you get 150K. The second one, you're up to 300. And then the fourth one, you're up to 500. So each step in the promotion is huge amounts of value. Wow. So if he can help someone get a promotion, which I spoke to him, he's like, yeah, I know exactly what you need to do. You just do this, 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 and this. He's going to be able to generate so much value to the marketplace. So I think that even though his channel is like 100,000 subscribers, he'll really be able to monetize effectively because he knows a way to generate a ton of value in the market. The more you generate, the more you get.
Super interesting. Who, and this is going to be the last question, but who on YouTube do you feel like is doing monetization really well?
I mean, Alex Hormozi comes to mind because he's monetizing in a way that doesn't detract from the goodwill that he's generating from his audience, but he's still going to be able to turn the YouTube channel into $1 billion enterprise simply by only going to the people that are the very, very, very top 1% of the market, but then he takes 10% of all of their revenue. So it's like,
it's the definition of like high ticket with that, but it's like camouflaged, right? Yeah,
it's super high ticket. Like the minimum to work with him is 3 million a year, and he takes roughly 10% revenue, which means he's charging like 300 grand a year in order to work with him, minimum.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Any other interesting ones?
There's this guy, Nick Cosman, who has a YouTube channel with around 2 or maybe 5,000 subscribers. At one point, he was making $1 million a month from the YouTube channel, which is pretty impressive. It's just very targeted. He's able to provide a ton of insights. The niche has a lot of wealth. that was pretty cool.
What is he doing differently?
He focuses on a very small subsect of the market that has money, and he is great at providing insights and adding value for free, which puts him in massive authority, which, by the way, is a huge lesson. It's like nowadays, the way you sell is by adding value, which is so nice, because before it used to feel slimy and salesy. But think about Alex Hormozy, the way he's grown so much, the way he's going to make so much money is just by adding value to the marketplace for free. And that's how you build an audience in the educational space. If you're just the person that adds the most value for free, you'll build an audience, because there's always going to be people that are like, say you really want to achieve a transformation, whatever it is, you want to lose a certain amount of weight, you want to build your podcast, you want to build your business. You're going to be actively seeking out whoever on the internet that's providing the most valuable information that helps you achieve that transformation. And those people are going to be telling their friends. So if you can just join any marketplace, any niche that you're in, and you become the person that provides the most insights to the marketplace, then you'll grow an audience. And not only will you grow an audience, you'll grow a really valuable audience, because the people that are going to be listening to you are the people that are serious about achieving the transformation, which means they're going to be far more likely to pay you to help them achieve the transformation. It's one of the most effective ways to build a valuable audience, is just go somewhere where you think you can become the creator that adds the most value, and you'll build a really valuable audience just by constantly providing insights to the marketplace.
I think that's a great place to end, man. I'm super excited to see you own that category of creator monetization and become kind of like the expert in the space. I think it's a very, interesting niche, and it's going to become more and more valuable. And I'm excited for that. And thanks for sharing all the wisdom and your story today.
Of course. And I think anyone listening to this, if acquiring wisdom is something that you want to do, you should keep following your podcast, because it's one of those places that I've acquired a lot of wisdom, quite a lot of insights. It's one of those places, because everyone's backstage, that you get the wisdom that isn't normally screamed, but there's so many subtle gems and little nuggets of wisdom you can pick up from your podcast as well.
I really appreciate it, man. Also, we'll include a link to your school group, the Synthesizer group, as well as I think you have an application for if anyone is over 100,000 subscribers and want to work with you, you have a form for that, right? So we'll include that in the description. All right. Thanks for listening. If you like this episode and you want to hear Andrew Kirby's full story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'll be dropping that shortly. All right. Take care.